Thanks everybody for joining us today. Our webinar today is IXN Quoting and Forms. Spend less time quoting and more time selling. So what we're going to be talking about today is we're going to be talking about the different quoting and forms platforms that IXN offer. We're going to be going over, I'm going to be showing you guys some of the unique parts of the platform. We're not going to dig into every little feature that they can do because there are a lot of different features available on the platform, but we'll go over quite a bit here. So my name is Lassie. I'm the president here at IXN, and I also handle a lot of our customer relationships. So I like to dig in with our customers, get on the phones, and so a lot of you have probably talked to me at one point or another, if you're either a customer or have considered using IXN as a customer before. So I'm going to start with kind of giving you an overview of all the different products we're going to be talking about today, and then from there I'll jump into actually demoing some of them for you and showing you how agents are using these different quoting platforms and how agencies are using them, and then providing them to those agents through their various different platforms that they have, like their website or mobile apps, things like that. So, but first, let me tell you a little bit about IXN. So IXN is, we're a technology company. We're focused in the insurance space, and we see the industry changing. We see the industry, the agent changing to what you see here on the screen. You can see here he's got his laptop, he's got his iPad, and he's got his iPhone here with him. So got 3 different devices. And the reason I show you the pictures is it's kind of ironic that he's got 3 different devices, right? I mean, that is today's agent. Today's agent wants to be able to do their business on the different platforms that they have. They want to be able to do it on the go, in the homes of their clients, on the golf course, wherever they are. And so we provide tools for essentially all those different platforms to be able to utilize it in different ways. The mission statement of IXN is build high-quality software tools that turn complex processes into simple and efficient tasks that can be performed from anywhere, thus bringing up time for improving quality of life through non-work activities. So we want to try to make it easier. We want to try to help you sell more, spend less time, quoting and more time selling. I like the title of our webinar today. So, and our current objective is to reduce the time it takes to accurately quote, service, and start the e-ticket process for any Turb and GUL product to under 5 minutes. So that's a tall task. We're essentially trying to take a long application, 30 to 50 page application, down to a 5-minute process. That's a big part of our objective, what we're trying to accomplish here at IXN. We're trying to help you accomplish that and be able to do that. And some of our products help you do that. There's different usage methods for our different products, and the different products have different use cases, I should say, in whatever situation you're in. So let's pop into some of our products. Our flagship product is our mobile app product. So if you weren't at the webinar last week, check out our YouTube channel. We did a whole webinar based around mobile. It wasn't an in-depth walkthrough. If you're interested in an in-depth walkthrough of our mobile app platform, I'll have my contact information here at the end of the webinar, and feel free to join us. Or feel free to contact me, and I'm happy to do an in-depth walkthrough. But I talked more about the agent and how the agent is changing. Our mobile app platform really helps us to do that. Our mobile app platform has a quoting component, a drop ticket component right in the mobile app. Essentially what you can do, if you're a brokerage, you can build your own app. So for example, if you're a broker and you've got your own brand and it's City Crest Financial, for example, you can build a branded app that your agents can use to quote and submit life insurance business and do some needs analysis, things like that. I'll show you guys how that part of it works. There's also a consumer-facing piece to it that we build into it. So we'll kind of go through all that. There's a lot of different features here. They're custom branded. It's a native Android, Apple store, so it's not just a mobile browser that we send people to. This is an actual app you download on your phone. It shows your brand in their list of apps, so every time the agent looks through their app, on their phone, they see your brand. We do term and GUL quoting. It has an integrated e-ticket app platform. So what we've done is we've integrated with several different providers for the ability to be able to not just quote, but also submit the business to the carrier right through that mobile app. Pretty slick little process, if I do say so myself. We're seeing that's where we really see that speed of taking it down to a 5-minute process and being able to do it anywhere. It has a needs analysis, underwriting pre-screener, push notifications. You can message your users in a way that you've never interacted with them before. There's advertisement, and then of course analytics. We show you. We're big on analytics. We want to show you kind of how people are quoting, what people are quoting. You can filter by all kinds of things. Our Agency Life Quoter is one of our also top-selling products. Our Agency Life Quoter is designed for agent use. So this is a quote engine. It's a web platform that plugs into your website. It's something that an agent would go in. You can do comparisons. You can get your forms right there in the quote results. You can drop a ticket from there. You can text a quote to your client, which is pretty cool. So you can be sitting at the computer and you can send your client a text message with their quote. I'll be showing you guys that here in a minute. But yeah, really, really cool stuff. Has a lot of the same things that the mobile app does. And the mobile app quoting, why does this keep jumping forward? Term and GUL quoting with table rates and riders, integrated forms, underwriting guides. Again, e-ticket, submission, PDF quote comparison, product limiting. It is mobile optimized as well. I will mention that if you're using an engine that's not mobile optimized, it's probably old. Because nowadays everything should be mobile. Whether it's going to your website and having a mobile optimized website, or the quote engine on that website, if it's not a good mobile experience, you should rethink what you're using. For example, last year Google came out with or a couple of years ago, I think, Google came out with an update, and what they do is they, excuse me, what they do is they actually look at all the websites that are showing up in search, and if your website is not mobile optimized, they dock you for that. So you're being negatively affected in the quote results if your website is not mobile optimized. So find an agency or an agent, or not an agency or agent. Find a web developer who can help you with that. We do websites, so we can help you, but find someone who can definitely do a mobile optimized version of your site. It's not that hard, but it's something that nowadays is very necessary. So I'll be showing you this here in a minute. We have our forms engine, so we're one of just a couple forms providers in the industry. So we have a fillable PDF forms engine for new business applications, supplemental forms, underwriting guides. It's integrated right into our quote engine, so when you're at the quote results, you can quickly just jump right into the forms that you need. Very quick and easy process, and they are fillable forms. Our carrier e-ticket service, that's kind of your replacement of the forms. That's the digital way that a lot of people are moving towards for submitting a drop ticket or submitting business to the carrier via drop ticket. If you're not familiar with what a drop ticket is, or an e-ticket as we call it, electronic ticket, is basically a shortened application where you can go in and you get basic customer information, basic policy information from the quote, things like that. You submit it to the carrier, and that carrier has a call center, whether it's in-house or they service a company for that, where they call the client and do kind of what they call a tele-app. And so they get the rest of the application information over the phone. And that's becoming a better and better process. When they first started it was a little rough. A lot of people would didn't really trust the process, and maybe you had some bad experiences from when they first started that. If you haven't used it since, you should really reconsider using it, because it's come a long way. That process is becoming a standard in the industry, and so we've got a great platform. And if you're a carrier and you're on this call, we'd love to talk to you about how to build that out with you. So yeah, that's the e-ticket service here. Next slide. Our Live Quotes API. So this is another route for doing quoting with us. We have an API. It's a very developer-friendly API that allows you to basically pull the rate. So if you're a direct marketer or you're just an agency wanting to build some of your own tools, we have an API with term and GUL rates, table riders or table rates and riders, and best info. It pulls all the carrier images. It's a really nice API. Your developer will love you for going with our API because it's very easy to work with. It's built by developers for developers, and it's pretty sweet. So if you don't know what API it's essentially a database that you can pull from. So for most of you, this is probably not going to be the solution for you, but this is for those of you who are developing your own software, your own technology. This is a great product for that. We have our agent website and consumer quoting. So this is where we do more of the lead generation side of things. So with the IXN platform, you can we have our consumer quote engine, and there's two ways to essentially purchase our consumer quote engine. You can come to us directly if you're an agent and you're looking to do some marketing, or turn your website into more of a lead generation tool. You know, a lot of websites, at the kind of the start of it was, hey, I need a website, right, to be like a legitimate business. But nowadays, it's not enough to just have a website. If you have visitors coming to that site, especially, you need to be able to turn them into leads. And so this product vastly helps with that, turns your website into something more than just a digital business card, where agents can go on there, they can fill out a little bit of information, and they get a real-time quote, where they're used to filling out information and getting a message that says, hey, we'll contact you, and then they think they're going to get contacted by 50 other people at the same time, right? This actually gives them some good information. So it gives them an actual rate and allows them to say, hey, I want to learn more about this American General Life Insurance policy or something like that, and that comes to you as a lead. So great platform for lead generation. We've got some different integrations, so you can build it out so it's almost like a full application that they submit. If you want it to be more qualified leads, more in-depth, things like that. So that's our consumer quote engine here. And last but not least, we have the IXN dashboard. So this comes with all the products. So everything that we've talked about so far, this is included with the purchase of any of the IXN products. The dashboard is your management tool. This is where you can log into a back end. You can select your carriers. You can update your ad campaigns on your mobile app. You can set up your e-ticket stuff. You can select your product types. You can see analytics on what's being quoted and things like that. So this is kind of your hub as an admin for updating all the different services that you have with us. You can also update your billing and things like that from the dashboard. It's a really nice platform to access your tools from. So from here, let's pop into a little bit of a demo here. So I'm going to show you a couple different products. So first, let's start with our mobile app platform since we started there. Oh, it looks like my sharing here stopped working. I'm just going to turn this back on. All right, so this is my actual phone screen that you're seeing here. So if I get any messages from my wife, just ignore them. But essentially, these are all apps that we've built for different agencies. We've done a whole bunch, not this game here, Hill Climb 2. My daughter downloaded that on my phone. But you can see here they're branded. So what happens is we can see up here City Crest Financial. First of all, let's go to the Play Store. So I go into the Google Play Store and I search for life insurance quotes app. All right, so we've got a couple up here that are car insurance. Looks like those are ads. But here we have life insurance by IXN, life insurance quotes. These are topo here. Those are all apps that we built. Not every app that you see here, but a lot of the apps that you see, Labyrinth, Advisors Financial Group. So you can see these are actual apps in the store. If I click on topo here, you can see some screenshots of what the app looked like. You can rate the app. You can give reviews, things like that, and you can download it. I've already got this downloaded, so I would just click open, and then it would take me into the app here. Now, let's hop into CityCrest Financial. The first piece of the app that it comes to is where they can select I'm an agent or I'm a consumer. This was designed, the app is mainly an agent app, but it's very much used by consumers as well. So let's say I'm a consumer and I'm looking for a life insurance quote, I click here, I go in here and I say, when I put in my date of birth, my gender, and it's just a click here, it changes color. I can put in my state, so I'm in Utah. Tobacco, no, yes or no, pretty simple. And we try to make this kind of fun, so it's like a 4-star rate your health type of system. Like 4 stars says I'm very active, eat right, don't smoke, my body is my temple. 3 stars is I'm pretty active, have the right diet, holding my own, age is a state of mind. 1 star is I don't want to talk about it. That's your standard, standard plus, preferred plus. So we click next. Actually, let's not do preferred plus. There we go. And let's say, how much? Let's say we want $1 million for 20 years. We click get quotes. This one has about 100 carriers turned on, so it's going to take a few seconds here. And then here we have our quote results. From here, I can say, okay, I like this protective classic choice term. I can learn a little bit more about it, and then I can request application. And this comes in as a lead. So this would then come to the agency as a lead. Now, if then they can choose to give it out to their agents, or if you're an agent building an app with us and you want this lead just to come directly to you, you can do what you want. So I come in here, I say, this is lead. There we go. I click submit application. It says congratulations. All right, and then we can go back when we're done. We go back to the initial screen. So that's the consumer quote engine in the mobile app. Now, most of the usage of our quote engine actually comes from within the logged in portion of it where agents are using it. So if you're an agent and you're working with a brokerage, feel free to refer your brokerage to us and we can help them build an app. Or if you're a brokerage looking to build an app, feel free to reach out to me and I'm happy to talk to you about this. Now, it's much more than just a quoting tool, but today that's what we're talking about is quoting. So I'm going to come in here, let's say I want to go needs analysis. I want to figure out my client's need first. We put in a few items. We get $2,380,000 is my total insurance need. I'm going to put in my existing insurance, existing retirement. That insurance need is $2,160,000. I click run life insurance quote. I say, oh, my date of birth is actually going to be say 05, 08, 1969. Done. And we're going to be in the state of Kansas. You can see it's much quicker here than the consumer piece. And this is an ad space that you can control. That shows up while the quotes are loading. We click continue to quotes. And then here we have our quote results. So from here, you can see the different carriers. You can toggle between payment modes. So if I click down the bottom right there, I click annual payment mode. I can go to quarterly, or I can go back to monthly. And let's say we want to, so there's a couple different things that you'll notice here as well. This one's a little more robust than your the consumer one we saw. So for example, if I click on protected here, I can text a quote, email a quote, or I can start a new ticket. So from here, if I click on text, it says, hey, I want to open my text messaging tool here. I'm going to text Moses. It says, it auto-populates a text message for me, and now he just got a text that says, company has protected life insurance, product, coverage amount, things like that. So really quick to just get it to your client. Let's say you're on a golf course, you run a quote for them, go in there, hey, I'm going to text this to you, and then they've got the quote and reference it later. If we go back to the app, I can also do the same thing with an email. So it says, how do you want to send this? I say Gmail, that's what I use. It will auto-populate an email for me here, and I can send that to Moses here. It says, hey, I'd rather have an email, and I can say, hey, then I can edit the email as well by clicking here. Just, say, hi, Moses. Here is your quote. There we go, and then I send that. That goes to him. And then we can also start an e-ticket. If I click on e-ticket, this will actually pop right into a drop ticket experience, like we're talking about, or an e-ticket experience. So I can come in here, and in under a 5-minute process, as we talked about before, we can submit a ticket to the carrier. And it's a really quick process. I can see the quote down here at any time. We're not going to go through the whole process right now, but in a quick 5-minute process, we go in there, we ran a needs analysis, we quoted, and we submit the ticket. I just walk through it, and it's quick. So that's the quoting part of the mobile app. Makes it really fast, makes you able to do it anywhere you are. Let's pop into the agency life quoter here. So in our presentation, that was this product here that we talked about. Now this is more of a web platform, so I can come in here, and this is designed to plug into any kind of website. So you can see here, so pretend City Crest Financial is your website that you're sending your agents to, or you're going to quote. This product right here within this box, it plugs right into your site. So there's no branding needed, no single sign-on. Now, one of the things I will mention about this product is it's pretty unique. We do have competitors out there who have similar products, but none of them really build out APIs and things like that like we do. So, for example, what I mean by that is that, first of all, this embeds right onto your site. A lot of companies will require like a single sign-on or login and that kind of thing. We don't require that, but we do allow you to build out, have your web developer build out things that can auto-fill these fields. So it can auto-fill the client information, the agent information for you. The rest of this stuff isn't necessarily to auto-fill because that stuff is for quoting, right? So that's going to be different every time. But all this information up here you can auto-fill. We also have an integration with a company called ApplicInt, who has a product called ExpressComplete. You probably saw that in the results in my mobile app here. You can see it says ExpressComplete. Some of these carriers have an e-ticket that goes over to our ApplicInt partner for an integration there. And essentially what you can do with our API here is you can have it pass through a token that auto logs them in so it knows the agent. A lot of people call that single sign-on. It's a really slick user experience, and we have a really nice developer platform to allow your developer to develop towards that. The documentation for that is on our website. So if any of your clients are ready of ours and you have this product with us, go to IXN.tech. And then up in the products here, go to LifeQuotes API. Click on View Documentation. And then so we have our documentation. This is the LifeQuotes API. This is the one I was talking about earlier. Is if you're building your own quote engine. But if you click on Agency Live Quoter up here, you can share this with your developer, and your developer can see how you can build out different solutions. You can have it auto-select the carriers and the products based on the user. If you want to do things like that. If you want to, there's a bunch of helper methods for auto-filling fields and things like that. And so there's a bunch of good information here for how to develop out, more robust features and advanced configurations into the Agency Live Quoter. So that's one of the things that's unique about us. But let's run a quote here. So most people just plug it in. It's a really simple integration into your website. Most of the time you don't even need a developer. You just copy and paste a snippet of code that looks like this right into a page on your site. But let's say I want to run a quote. It auto-filled my agent information. It does that via cookie. So it just put in what I had there last time. So you can also select age if you want versus date of birth. Now we come down here to the underwriting section. One of the things that's unique about our platform is that you can compare, let's say we want to do a standard plus standard, and we also want to do a table B rated case in the same result. Pretty cool. And then let's say we're struggling a little bit with knowing where to place our client. We can come over here to the left side and we have the carrier underwriting guides. So let's say we need the American General guide here. I click on that and it'll open up the actual PDF from American General. And this has the underwriting guide, the build charts, and all that kind of stuff here in the guide. And so you can access that right while you're quoting. You can also limit carriers. Now, as an agency, the owner of this product can select which carriers are quoted here. But as a user, you can come in here and say, hey, I just want to quote a certain number of carriers. And so you can just come in here as the user and limit the carriers that you want to quote here. So I'm just going to select a few that way because it takes a little bit longer the more carriers we have. So I'm just going to select a few popular carriers here for this video or for this webinar. So we've got 12 carriers selected. We come down here. Now we can put in our face amount. Let's say we want 750,000. We're not going to put in any flat extra right now, but you can. Child rider units, accidental death benefit, waiver of premium. We quote term and GUL. So here we have our term products, GUL, and then we have some variations to that. Our simplified issue only, return of premium term, and then others. So guaranteed to age 90, 95, things like that. Let's just say we want to do a 10 and 20-year term. If you view quotes, takes a few seconds here, and then we'll have the quote results. Here we go. You see, it was really quick. So here we have our quote results. Up here at the very top, it shows kind of what was quoted, what the inputs were. Down here below, we've got our 10 and our 20-year term options, so you can select those from here. And then you can also do some filtering. So, hey, I just want to see my table Bs, or I just want to see standard plus. Right now, we had it turned to all categories, but it was sorted by monthly premium. So your table Bs are going to be way down the list and get towards the bottom because they're going to be more expensive, right? And then we can change it to descending order or ascending order. But let's say we want to do a comparison here. I want to compare Legal in General, SBLI, and John Hancock. I'm just going to go back and make sure my phone's still running, so I'm going to text myself a quote here in a second. But let's say we want to do a comparison of these three. We click download. It'll auto-fill the client information, the agent information right into this PDF. We click create PDF. And we have a really nice looking client-ready PDF to send off. It shows the product breakdown, the price breakdown, things like that, all right here in this PDF. And it's also got a nice little disclaimer down the bottom that says, hey, this is when this quote was run, it's non-binding, et cetera, et cetera. You understand how those insurance disclaimers work. But the same thing, what I can do is I could text it to myself. Click on text up here. So I'm going to text this to, usually text myself. Lastly, here are your quote results. Let me know when you're ready to get started. All right, cool. I click send text. Okay. I go over to my phone, I pull down my messages, and it says, here we go. Here are your quote results. I click on that. It's going to open up that text message, and it's going to say, Lasse, here are your quote results. It's going to have a little link right here in the quote. And if I click on that link, what it's going to do is it's going to open up that PDF, or it's going to download it actually to my phone. There we go. Boom. And I've got that comparison. You can see I can zoom in on it, look at everything. Looks the same, same kind of look and feel as what you saw on the desktop tool. So it makes it really nice. So when you're using this and you want to just send it off to your client, a lot of people nowadays work in text, so a great way to kind of send that off to your client. You can also email it. I think most people use the download function if you're going to do that, so you can send it from your own email. Yeah, so we've got a couple other items here. So let's say I want to learn more about this SBLI product, or let's say legal and generals. They're the cheapest here. So we've got our monthly, quarterly, semi-annual, and annual breakdowns, just like you saw in that PDF. I can grab my new business forms right from here. It's pretty slick. So I can come in here and I can just grab the forms that I need. They've got different labels. So for example, standard is a new business required form. We've also got some supplemental. So I just selected all the standard forms along with this alcohol, drug, and use questionnaire. I click download selected, and what it's going to do is it's going to download a fillable PDF that I can click and start typing on. So so I can then fill this out with my client. Now, obviously this is a 27-page application, so quite a bit longer than doing a drop ticket. A lot of the same information that comes across though. So you can also see state availability here. So you can see this is available everywhere except for New York. And then we've got this action bar here where we can do some different things. Like we can, I talked about this ExpressComplete integration. So this is our drop ticket integration with ApplicInt. Actually, let me make sure this one's a little better for demo purposes. But let's say I want to do this e-ticket. Come in here, I click on AIG, I click ExpressComplete, I fill out a little bit of information. I think this one has single sign-on set up, so it should pop me right. Oh, that's not going to work. Start a phone number with 1. Let's see here. We click on Submit ExpressComplete. Looks like we had a question come in. Okay. So we're going to get to the agent quote engine here in just a second. Oh, this is showing. Just put the demo. Oh, I guess I don't have the setup for this, the single sign-on. But here we go. We've populated right into a drop ticket, and we just fill out a few steps, 4 steps here, and we're done. We've submitted that to the carrier. Dan, I'll get to your question here in just a second when we get to the next part. So yeah, really slick integration there. Really, this is a great product for agents. Agents really like using this quote engine. We pride ourselves a lot in the user experience, the design of things, and so that's a great product for that. I'll also show you here real quick, since I promised, with the forms engine. Here's our carrier forms engine. So we come in here, we just need the forms for Banner. Here we say ApplicInt forms for the state of California. We click Get Forms. Oh, you know what? Let's do a different carrier that's got a bit more. There we go. So here we have standard packet. We can select the forms that we need. We can also see the list view. So here's kind of our new business required forms. And we can come down here and say, hey, we need aviation questionnaire and a certification of trust or something like that. And then we could download them, text them, or email them as well. There's also customer service forms, underwriting guide, things like that. Right. So yeah, those are the agent-facing products for quoting. Let's pop into the consumer-facing products. So this is what Dan was asking about. he said, is there any update coming for the agent quote engine? And we're working on a few things here, but for the most part, we've updated it to be a really good product for what it is. We're constantly adding some different features in here. We can look into the dashboard and look at some of the we've added defaults and things like that. But let me show you some of the things that you can do with this quote engine. So this is what I was talking about for in my presentation. I was talking about the lead generation side of things, right? So this plugs right in. Whether you do a website with us or you build your own, close some of these tabs and logic. So whether you do a website with us or you have your own website, you can use it either way. So this is plugged right into a website. So I come in here and I say, hey, I want to run a quote for the state of Pennsylvania. My birthday is June 11th, 1974. Now remember, this is the consumer running this quote, not the agent at this point. I'm a male. I don't use tobacco. I pick my health class. I say I'm a preferred. Now you'll notice these little eyes here. If I click on that, it'll show some different options here in the list. So it'll kind of describe, hey, here's preferred plus, here's preferred. There's some basic descriptions of those things. Length of coverage, same thing. So let's say we want to do a 20-year term, and we want $1 million policy. We click View Quotes. And there's two ways to have the results show up. You can have them show up in a pop-up, or you can have them show up here like they are embedded right onto the page. The reason some people do a pop-up is because they may want to put it in like a sidebar over here on a blog or things like that. So you can have it. But that is one of the newer features of the tool. You can set that here in the dashboard. So we're going to go into the dashboard real quick, which is the last piece I was going to show you. Give that a second while it loads. We'll continue over here. But here we have our quote results. So as a consumer, this is what I'm seeing. I can sort by, hey, I want to see, sort by monthly premium and descending order. So I want to see the most expensive or ascending order. This one has about 50 carriers turned on, I think, so it's got a lot. We come in here, let's say we want to apply for Pacific Life, click Apply, and this one is set up with Google Forms. So there's a couple different options for what happens when you click this Apply button. So you can actually have it go out to something like this, where this is a Google Form. And so if you want to control what happens when someone clicks on that button, you can have them go out to Google Forms, Cognito Forms. We've got a whole guide on how to set those up. But you can essentially link out to your own application form. So if you want it to be, like this one says Term Life Insurance Application, how do you want to apply? Online, over the phone, or in person? If I click over the phone, it'll just say, hey, schedule a meeting. But if I click online, I click next, I've built my own questions into here. And you can see I can set it to auto-fill the stuff that's already been quoted. So the face amount, the carrier health category, the annual premium, and then from here I would go in and fill out the rest of the application process. That's one way to build this out. So you can do it with like a Google form. There's a whole bunch of options, and I'll show you guys how to do that. But you can also, the simple way to use it is just go with the default. So here's a different way to set it up. So you can see already it's a little bit different. I've got first name, last name, cell phone, and email here on the initial page. They're not required, but they are on here on the page. And so at this point, I can go in here and let's say I want to run a quote for Indiana for August 11th, 1970. And you can set these defaults in the dashboard, which I'll show you in a second. You can also, to these fields down here, you can add a little I if you want. So I won't get that detailed with it today because we're running out of time here. But you can add this little I to any of these. So you can say, why are you asking for my cell phone? And you could have a little description to say, hey, we don't sell this information. You may get a call from an agent, but it's only, we're not going to sell this to 50 agents. We're going to call you. Or you can, and here it's not required, so they can just choose to leave that out. But we click View Quotes. Takes a few seconds. And this one has a lot of carriers. You can see this one actually is set to show up in a pop-up. So you can see it's kind of over the page, so it kind of darked out what's behind it. And it shows the results here in a nice little, we call it a modal. Some people call it a pop-up. But it's a nice little way to show the results over the top of it. So let's say I want to apply for this North American product. Click Apply. And instead of popping out to Google Forms this time, I just pop into a very generic lead form. Most people are using this form. This would then come to you. It would go into the dashboard. It would also come to you in the form of the lead. So a couple of different things that there's a lot of different ways to customize this and use it in different ways. I'll go into answering some of those questions here in just a second. But yeah, that's essentially the consumer-facing piece. Website quoter. Now, there's different ways that people utilize it. Like I said earlier, if you're an agent and you just want to buy this from us, you can come buy it. It's fairly inexpensive. But if you're an agency and you have 50 agents underneath you and you want to provide this for them, or even just refer them to us, we do have kind of a reseller type program where if you buy a certain number of them in bulk, we give you discounted rates and things like that. We can work out a nice program for you to provide the lead generation tools to your agents. Whether you want to buy it for them or have them buy it themselves, that kind of thing, that's really up to you. And so there's some different options for kind of how to build this out. And so we can really kind of go from there, and or you can really kind of go from there and think about how the best way for you to approach this product is. But it's a great lead gen product. Turns your website into so much more than just a lead gen tool. So last piece I'm going to show you guys is just the dashboard. So this is the back-end tool. This is what I was mentioning comes with everything that you do with IXN. So here's the dashboard. You can come in here. You can set your settings. So here's our quote engine. I come down here to carriers and products. I can select which carriers I want to quote, turn off certain carriers, that kind of thing. I can select the theme colors. I can set up those quote actions I was talking about. So if what that apply button does, there's a little guide that shows you, hey, if you want to set this up with 1, 2, 3 contact form, there's a guide that tells you kind of how to set that up and how to build out those questionnaires. The dashboard also gives you analytics. So this shows you, who's using it, how many quotes are being run, who ran the quotes, those types of things. So I can see here, Joe Agent ran a quote on my Agency Live quoter. And you can filter by all kinds of things. Like, hey, I just want to see ones that came in with a table B rating over the last 90 days. So we click Apply. Takes a second, and here we go. Here's all the quotes that came in over that time. You can also see your leads that come in, your drop tickets or e-tickets that were submitted to the platform, where they went, who the provider was, things like that. So this comes with all of our products. There's a lot here. I'll answer a few questions here afterwards, but thank you all for attending. I'm gonna end the webinar recording at this point, and then we're gonna pop into some questions.